This is Kathy Kujat, and her son Joe has come to our reading center this past year. And this is Donna York, a teacher at USA Schools, Title I, up in the Thumb in Michigan.
Well, my son Joe was 4th grader in September, and in August actually he started asking me if I knew about this thing called homeschooling, and I said yes, and he really did not want to go to school at all, and I didn't know why. He's 9 years old. The second week, I don't do it the first week because this first week of school is crazy, but the second week, and I sat in his class, and I had to leave because I just saw how defeated he was and how hard it was for him. Sorry.
It's okay.
And I just left there because I never struggled with literacy or anything. It's so easy for me. Academics, never a problem. And if you don't know what to do, and that's your child, and that's your job, and I'm thinking, all right, he's 9 years old. I don't want him to quit in 9th grade or 10th grade. In the school, we've been working with him since 1st grade, and I noticed, he's just not getting it, whatever. He did Title I, I think it was called. He did Jumpstart. It's a computer program every morning at 7:30, and sometimes in the evening till 4:30 we were there. He did Reading Recovery. They had him for 2 years. And so in the start of 4th grade, when we started No Closer, No Better, No Nothing, after 2 years of everything, that he put into it and we put into it, it was just the most defeated, deflated kind of feeling, that you can have if you have a kid that struggles. It can be just excruciating to watch them go through that when you don't know it yourself, when you don't know how to help. His confidence was nothing. He would tell me I'm the dumbest one in my class. He would, 4th grade you get paragraphs and questions to answer. Well, he would be like in the second sentence and the other kids would be turning them in. So he would just under the desk, and then half the time it never even came home. So he was failing. He was 9 years old and he was failing. And he knew it, and he felt like a failure. His confidence was nothing. Reading, it carries into everything. His math has never been a problem. He gets wonderful grades in math, but social studies, science, because it's all vocabulary and reading and stuff, because it's a lot. It's so much for him. He's 9 years old, and he has to sit at the table every night for, an hour or plus just to catch up, to where the other kids, it takes them 25 minutes and they're done. And I kind of just got in my car and drove. And I guess you can call it faith, and I believe God just led me right here because I drove right here. And Joe started, I think, that week or the next week, and after 2 years of doing it the school way, he's been here a week every September. Not every week. I think maybe it's been 11 hours, maybe 14, I don't know. When I knew he was going to be okay was just recently, and I emailed them and I said, because the progress is slow, because he's learned bad things and bad habits and he has to undo them, and it's very hard to do that. He had his 10th birthday party last weekend, and he had 15 kids over, and water balloon fights and presents to open and cake and ice cream and all that. And I told him that's not why it was a good day, is when he started opening his presents and he's sitting there, and all his friends are around him to see what he's getting, and he opened them and each one comes with a card, and I'm just kind of cleaning up while he's doing it. He starts reading the cards and just reading them. And I didn't say, Joe, read your cards, and I didn't say, he just did it. And he read every single one. And I just thought, he's going to be okay. It's working, it's progress. It's going to happen, and I just felt better.
I started out as an elementary teacher, and I've taught for about 25 years. I've been fortunate enough to, spend those years teaching from preschool all the way to high school. And I've had to teach a lot of reading, and I have to say that I thought I knew all about reading, and I didn't. I remember when a teacher came to our building and first told us about Ebli. I was someone who thought, oh my goodness, they think they've found phonics, or they don't think that we teach phonics. and I really didn't give it much attention. It wasn't until just 2 years ago, I had come back from a maternity leave. The summer before, they sent me to Ebli training, well, along with some other staff members. And when I sat in class, I don't know why, but it was like a lightning bolt. I just really knew what I was seeing was something we had never considered, that we hadn't delivered. And it wasn't just what we were teaching, and that's what I think my hang-up before was, is I was thinking, oh, we don't think we've covered some of this. Well, we didn't cover it. We didn't cover all of it. We only cover the very basic of sounds, the most common of sounds. We don't cover everything. We teach you part of it, and so the rest of it is a mystery. So I saw its potential right away. We walked out of the room. It's a 3-day training. I walked out of the room and I was like higher than a kite. So we went back to school. And some people went back and went right in and taught it and took off. Their kids just soared. Other people resisted and found every reason why it would never work in their classroom, and the student, it was unable to work with students because it was just too hard to pass out those boards and markers. The administration wanted us to learn all about it, bring it all back and teach it to everybody. And when we started to get outrageous fly off the page scores, they're like, shh, wait a minute, this is too good to be true, people won't believe it. And so we stayed underground and quiet for a while. So it's been very interesting how people respond to it. So I came back to school and I found myself in this Title I position. And I said, what do you want me to do? And they said, well, you went to Ebli training this summer. Why don't you just find out everything you can about Ebli and then see if you think it works or not. The aides, the paraprofessionals were taken out of the classrooms where they had traditionally just helped students with centers and graded papers and hung up decorations and did a lot of classroom management, and now they're all diagnostic technicians in reading. They change people's lives. Then there comes the students who their teacher said, go ahead and take them because they're already in their, like, maybe 4th grade. You're going to have to start at kindergarten and good luck to you. And they say it so smugly. And then they get in there, and they're in there 3 times, and they're starting to read. And the tears just roll down our faces because nobody thought it was possible.
I read a book about a doctor. His name was Dr. Semmelweis, and it was from the middle 1800s in Europe. And he was a doctor who worked and taught residents, and they go from autopsy to delivering babies to autopsy to delivering babies, and 30% of the women were dying. And the mindset was these women who are dying, the 30% are weak. So he decided they'd wash their hands. So he and these new doctors washed their hands, and the incidence went down to anywhere from 0 to about 3% death. And they said, you're absolutely wrong. That has nothing to do with it. These ladies are dying because they're inferior or weak or whatever. Right? Letters say, how can you kill these women? Something as simple as washing your hands, how difficult can it be? Why would you not do this? Well, looking at Donna, it makes me think, one day I was going up to her district, and she has a phenomenal superintendent, and he's there for kids, for sure. But he's caught between, kind of in a war, a little bit, of different mindsets. People who are really using Ebli and moving the kids along, and other ones who don't want to hear that term ever again, type of thing. And I said to that superintendent, so you have to decide, are you going to wash your hands? Or are you not? Because why, and what is the mindset that you would have something that works so well and helps so many, and that you would be resistant to it?
To know something and not take action on it is abuse. So that must change.